Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Michele, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 163 for October 14th, 2024.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say,
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's been 2 weeks.
It has, because this time last week we were prepping for a hurricane.
That we were. Yes, we were. We had an adventurous week.
Yeah, we definitely did. So we apologize for missing last week. It's just been one thing after another, and yeah.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you kind of just already started our adventures in Florida living. So before the hurricane came in, though, we did go to Magic Kingdom one of the days. I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to say Tuesday because I think we had to leave early to get home in time to record with Greg.
Was it that day? I don't remember. My days are all screwed up because just it's weird how, you know, a few days out of touch with everything because of weather.
I saw. Go ahead.
And, you know, it just like it you know what it reminded me of? Like this past week reminded me of like when you're on a Christmas break and there's nothing going on, nothing's open, blah, blah, blah. And then when everything is over, you're like, oh, okay, so you got to find a way back to normal. And I think this is what we're trying to do this week. It's just been really weird.
Yeah, I read something yesterday on one of the news sites that hurricane fatigue, I guess, is a real thing.
I saw that too.
Even if you're not prepping every day and you're trying to get your house ready and all that stuff, but just the anxiety of the hurricane coming in, the stress of making sure you have done what you can have done, and then just waiting. That waiting game is the worst part of the hurricane.
The waiting is terrible. It's like being at a perpetual doctor's office for like a week waiting for them to call you, and they just don't seem to call you.
It reminds me of the now serving 9,909, whatever that number is in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the guy next to you is number 4, and it's like, give me that.
Right, I want to switch that number.
Yeah, so yeah, it's they had been talking about this hurricane for what, about a week?
Yeah, so there was a lot of hype before, and then see, here's the thing. For non-Floridians or people that are not super familiar with hurricanes, and I know I was not either until we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so they do these updates like, you know, 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and it seems as though each update they put is different. So they're watching for this hurricane to possibly wobble, as they call it,
right.
Change tracks, go north, go south, east, west. So you don't every day, every few hours is a new bit of information, and that's exhausting.
And as it gets closer, it's every 3 hours.
Yes.
So then you got them 5, 8, and 11. So it's like, okay, come on. And then it's just, like I said, it's the anxiety. But the whole thing is, so you're waiting for it to move so it doesn't hit you. But the sad thing is it's going to hit somebody else.
Exactly. And I hate that, you know, I don't know. I'm weird, as most people know. But like when I see these storms coming, you know, I'm praying for safety for everybody. I'm like, I just don't like that feeling like, oh, just move a little this way and I'm good. What about everybody who's going to suffer? And like the Tampa area, you know, the Gulf Coast, you know, they got hit really hard and people are, you know, losing things. And it just makes me really sad because, like, we shouldn't be really wishing for much except for that people get through this okay.
Right. Or the storm just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing.
Which isn't going to happen.
It could hit a brick wall and probably tear on the wall, but it might slow it down. But it's like, I don't know. I don't stress about the storm. You know this. I don't get anxiety about the storm. I try to prep as best we can, and then I just deal with any things that come as they come. I'd rather do that than to be worried about the entire time.
And I don't worry. I just try to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that, you know, it is what it is. I don't like to downplay it because if it is bad, then I'm like, I told you so.
Right.
You know, I just take it as it comes type of person. And I don't believe in hyping it up. Where were you going with this? Were we starting with Hurricane or no?
No, we actually started with we went to Magic Kingdom on that Tuesday.
Okay,
before.
we're going to put a bookmark into this one and we'll go back to it.
Okay, we'll go back. So we did go to the Magic Kingdom. I believe it was the Tuesday after our last show. So about 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, like last week is a blur.
Yeah, so we were at the Magic Kingdom and we went over there. We just wanted to get some video, some food. We hadn't been in a while, so we wanted to go over there and get some coverage and such. I think all we did was ride the mansion, walked around.
Yeah, because we were just kind of looking for, anything new, just to get out of the house a little bit. And the weather is changing here. It's getting a little bit nicer outside. And it wasn't busy that day.
No, it wasn't, because it was a party day. Because as we were leaving, you saw all the hordes of party people coming into the park as we were walking out of the park.
And I love that because I like to look at the costumes that people come up with. And a lot of it, because it's so hot outside, people just come up with, very random or super easy things like a tank top and a skirt. Like, I saw the fairies, there was a red one, a blue one, or pink, I'm sorry. And, it's just something as simple as that because like and I've seen people go all out with costumes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from top to bottom. I personally can't do that. But I mean, great for those.
You did it once as Rapunzel.
But that dress I bought was so cheap and it was, not thick quality.
It wasn't that hot that day. It wasn't super hot.
No, and it rained and it cooled things off before we really got things started. And that material was super lightweight, so that wasn't bad. But I mean, like, wearing something that's got pads in it or something that's a full like zip up type of thing. No, thank you.
I think we saw somebody. I don't know if it was this trip, but I've seen somebody like a Ursula costume, and then they have all the tentacles and stuff like that, and that's all weight that gets added to the costume they're carrying. Plus, it's heavy fabric and such. It's got I don't know, just in the Florida heat, I don't know. But when we got there, we saw people already in costumes, and this was like hours before the event. People were already in costume walking around.
And people were, like, we left by, around 4 o'clock, and people were already, there's a ton of people coming in for the party already and in costumes and such. So it was really interesting because we haven't gone to Not So Scary this year.
No,
so,
first year we haven't gone.
The first year.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so we went to Magic Kingdom.
Maybe that's why we're not in the Halloween mood really this year.
You know what? I really think that's part of it.
I got no candy.
Oh shoot! I just had an idea.
A light bulb just went over her head.
Huh?
A light bulb just went over your head.
Didn't we go over there to try Pecos Bill's new stuff?
Was that last week or was that the week before? Because I know we talked about that. Was that the day we went to Pecos Bill's and we never talked about it here? It might have been.
I think that's why we went.
Oh, that might be. Oh, we have a whole nother conversation now.
Oh my God.
We haven't talked to them about it. You did on your show and we talked with Greg about it.
But you and I did not, I don't believe.
No.
If we did, we apologize.
And if not, you guys have to hear it again.
Yeah.
So Pecos Bill's, as most of you probably have read or may have heard, they do have a full new menu they came out with. They put French fries back on the menu, but they're barbecue cheddar fries. Don't get excited yet about what they are. They had a burger.
Please don't get excited.
Don't get excited. They have like 4 different bowl options. So you pick like your beginning, like if you want a tamale, if you want nachos, if you want a salad, I think is one of my tacos.
It kind of reminds me of, so I've always had this long-standing joke or observation, like with Taco Bell. Like, it's the same crap. It's just in different form.
Right.
And it's kind of like the same thing over at Pecos.
A chicken quesadilla can be folded up and become a chicken taco.
Right.
Or rolled up and it becomes a chicken burrito.
Right. Or a tostada and a taco and nachos and all the, it's the same stuff.
And especially at Taco Bell, they don't have different beans that go on this one or different beans. It's all the same across the board. They just charge more depending on the size.
Right.
Or the weight.
Right. And okay, sidebar. Walkout food has gotten not so great at Disney.
It's not so.
And actually at theme parks, I can't even say Universal has great walkout food because they don't either. I mean, it's just like one of those things. It's expensive and the quality is not fantastic, let's just say.
No, that's a good way to say it because the quality, and I think they're like, if you want this, you're going to pay this much for it. It's not going to be the greatest, but you're going to eat it and you're going to be able to move on and go with your day. If you want to go sit down and spend a little bit more money, it'll be a better food, but.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so I'm so jaded now that we've been doing this for so long and been living here for over 10 years that, like, I don't want to get too excited. I don't like to get my hopes up for stuff just in case. And in this case, I'm so glad I did not.
Because you know why it is, though, is over the last probably since COVID,
Yeah.
there really hasn't been anything that's like that wow factor.
No, it's not a wow factor. Maybe if you, again, we're looking at this from, we do this for a living, plus we're local. And I don't know, maybe when you come here for a vacation or it's not so often, you don't notice or maybe feel a little less critical. But like when you go all the time and you're looking for something, like we know, like when we go to the parks and which park, like where we would possibly eat and where
our backup is in case.
Where our backup is, or if we should just get a snack and eat when we go home or eat something ahead of time. Because I want to say, I'm going to make a bold statement. You ready?
I'm ready.
Magic Kingdom has the worst walk-ups.
Wow.
Yep. I think that...
I agree with you 100%.
Oh, what'd you woo for then?
Because it sounds better coming from you. If I would have said, you'd be like, how can you say that? But then you would have agreed too.
No, think about it. I mean, they have good pizza over at Hollywood Studios. They have different things. They have, other choices. Backlot's not so bad. I remember when they had like a hummus and pita thing.
Oh, yeah.
They have salads and stuff at the commissary. Animal Kingdom has the walk-up over by Yak and Yeti, or Yak and Yeti that's just
Yak and
good.
Yeti, yeah, that's just good. But the walk-up is just as good, actually, for a quick service.
It is, and they have like the pizza place and Restaurantosaurus and all that. And then Epcot has a plethora of things to eat.
Epcot has so many choices, and to me, Connections Cafe is probably my favorite.
I know you love it there because you like their pizza and there's that salad.
That General Tso's chicken salad they have, to me, is the best. I wish they would sell just that chicken with fries, that flavored chicken with the fries, because I think it would be a great meal, but it's good in the salad, too. And I will eat that every time we go there.
Right. However, Magic Kingdom, I thought maybe they could reel me back in with a new Pecos Bills menu.
No.
And sadly, no. Okay, so I have video of this on our Instagram and Facebook if you want to see, because I did give a very honest review. I'm not in a good mood. Do you want me to just be totally honest or sugarcoat?
Well, I have the menu here if you want to talk about any of the options, and I can explain to them what they are. But I think we should let them know because that's honest reporting.
Okay.
But I do want to disclaim this. We're not saying you might not. Some people might go there and like it, and that's great. And if you went to Pecos and you loved what it had, that's fantastic. I'm glad you feel you got your money's worth. But I guess as locals and as we've been through all the different menu changes, Pecos, when they still had the Fixins bar and stuff, that was the best Pecos.
Oh, for sure.
That was the best because you could load up. I mean, you would actually...
You could make cheese fries.
You'd be full when you walked out of there.
Oh, yeah. And then it gradually got like less and less that they offer. So here's the thing. Them putting this quote unquote new menu together is basically the same old crap as before. Just they fool you with different options.
Right.
And so when I put this out, I did get some feedback and people were kind of agreeing with me. And one guy said that they had a beef option that wasn't so bad. But if you're like me and you're picky, I will not eat dark meat, fatty chicken. I refuse.
And no bone in either. You needed boneless white meat chicken. So that's what you like.
Because years ago, they had fajitas with white meat there.
They did. And they were good.
And they were decent. Okay, so now...
And they had a bowl, didn't they?
I think so.
I remember getting a bowl with that.
So I got the chicken nachos, and I live in regret to this day.
You got a kid's meal.
I got the kids, thank God, because if I would have got the bigger size, I would have felt even more angry when I left. But I sat down and, looked at it, and I moved some of the lettuce out the way to see the meat. I almost gagged. It was nasty, fatty, dark meat. Ugh. Nasty chicken. And I was like...
What kind of chicken?
Nasty.
Is that how it was on the menu?
Fatty and just... Oh. So... I'm looking at this and I'm like, we just spent money on this. What am I going to do? So I did my very best to take a fork and a little cup thingy and scoop all that fatty crap out of there. But then when you're going to eat something and something completely grosses you out, it's like the damage is done. Yeah. And I tried. The cheese wasn't bad, but it kind of ruined it for me. And then those fries, I was interested in trying those because I'm not a fan of regular old Disney Park fries.
No.
This is regular old Disney Park fries with a little sprinkle of barbecue and cheese seasoning.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. So when they said barbecue cheddar fries, in my head, I'm envisioning cheddar cheese sauce and barbecue sauce drizzle maybe on top of that to give them the flavor. Oh, no. It's like they sprinkled no different than Lawry's seasoned salt, but this is a barbecue cheddar seasoning that they sprinkle on top of the fry. They toss them in there instead of salt. That's what you get. They weren't bad.
No, they weren't bad. I
but they
was a
weren't what I was
little
anticipating.
disappointed.
They weren't what I was anticipating.
But
So
they weren't disgusting like
no.
chicken.
And I would eat those again because, like you, I don't mind the regular fries. I mean, they're fries. The ones at Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, those are the best fries.
Oh my
I've had on
goodness, I
property.
could
Those were-
eat like baskets of those.
Those ones were the best. But so when we went to, so Michele had the Nacho Kids Bowl. I had, because I didn't want to try any of the adventurous new Mexican dishes or Tex-Mex dishes. So I went with which is, I guess you could say Tex-Mex. I went with the double chili con queso burger, which I thought, okay, that sounds pretty good.
There was no queso on it though.
There was a little bit,
It was
very
like
little.
chili
It was very
and, like,
mostly chili.
Fritos.
Chili Fritos and 2 of their regular beef patties on the burger.
You said it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad. I don't really have a problem with their burgers. Sometimes if they've sat in the water too long, you can taste it in the burger. These ones weren't bad. But you have to try it for yourself, honestly. You have to see if you like it. The burger was kind of messy, though, to have it at a walk-up because you got it. It comes in that little cardboard tray thing. With
Right.
the
You
burger
had to
and the
cut
fries.
yours in half because it was like there was like chili flying out.
I didn't want it to fly all over my shirt, so I always cut it in half because I didn't want to walk away people going, "Oh, you ate at Pecos." Just because they
Right,
see it all over my
right.
shirt.
So what I'm saying is that yes, I am being super critical because that chicken grossed me out. But if you like dark meat fatty chicken, have at it. But if you're like me and you don't, this is your warning. Do not get the chicken nachos.
and I'm not one that I don't really mind. I'm not a fan of dark meat, but I'll eat it if it's something like that. And the nachos, all the flavor and all the other stuff. But even the pieces that were in yours, they just did not look good.
I can still picture it in my head right now, and it makes me nauseous.
The problem is, so what they're doing, and I don't know if they get the chicken in boneless and then they just throw it in a pot with water and seasoning and boil the crap out of it till it's done, but it all looks the same color. It doesn't matter if it's the dark meat or the white meat chicken. It's all the seasoned
But
color,
you can
brownish.
tell dark meat. Like I keep envisioning this one piece in my head right now, and it's
That big piece that was on the side?
Oh.
I remember that
Oh
one.
my God, it was shiny.
It
and
looked like they ripped it
brown.
off of a chicken thigh and they just threw it on there.
So gross.
You want some nachos for dinner?
No. I just feel like the walk-ups have gone down in quality, and if you look at some of these options that they give you, it's very apparent. But I do like over in Pinocchio's they have a buffalo chicken pizza,
which has ranch Doritos on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's actually decent for Magic Kingdom food.
Yeah, you'd like that one because you've gotten that a few times.
I did. I mean, do I love it? Am I doing cartwheels for it? No, but it's decent.
I just really miss the Fixin' Bar days. So Cosmic Rays used to have theirs, where you had the lettuce, the tomato,
and the cheese,
the pickles, the mushrooms, the onions, the cheese sauce.
Oh, the cheese sauce. A lot of people were heartbroken
and
about
now you
that.
go up to the Fixin's Bar and it's condiment packets.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And it's not even real Heinz ketchup. Everything else is Heinz, but the ketchup is red gold.
He's really upset about that, and he has been for years.
Because Disney has more money than anybody else on this planet, yet they take the cheap way out with red gold garbage ketchup.
Okay, we're triggering him.
Red gold belongs at Six Flags.
Oh, okay, all right, it's enough.
Not at Disney. I'm sorry. Well, it's weird that you have Heinz every other product, but that one.
I know I know you've talked about that many a times on this show about your ketchup hang up.
I remember one time I bought a domain called Heinz Ketchup at www.com, remember? And I made the 4 icons in ketchup packets because there was
too much time on your hands if you're doing that.
Back in the day, I did. But I remember Bob Davis was one of the ones that was on my side most of the time for that. It was like
Bob Davis is your ketchup cheerleader.
He is because
he
you know
gets
what?
it.
Spend the money in Heinz. There's a reason why it's the #1 seller in America. Use it, Disney. Pay the half a penny for 3,000 packets and put it in there first half.
Ouch. Okay, so apparently he feels like even more passionate about the ketchup than I do about nasty dark meat chicken.
Because if you put enough ketchup, if it's good ketchup, you can make anything taste better.
Not that chicken. I'm sorry. There is nothing that was going to help that chicken.
You know what's weird is they didn't even give you I don't even remember seeing salsa or anything for the nachos anywhere.
Oh, so
there
bad.
there was a like a hot sauce they had at the condiment bar, but they didn't have like a salsa or anything like a pico or anything like that.
And you had to ask for sour cream. I mean, I thought
Yes.
sour cream could fix it. Yeah, no,
I
I
had
won't.
guac on it too, didn't it? Didn't they give you a
I don't
small?
know.
No, I can't remember now.
I can't get past the fatty chicken.
The green might have been something else.
Ugh.
Lettuce.
Oh, so gross. All right, anyway.
Anyway, let's move on. But Try Pecos Bills yourself if you want to after all this.
Don't eat the chicken.
Michele don't like the chicken. They do have a beef option, and they do also have a pork option if that's what you prefer. This is just our opinion, which everybody's entitled to their
Pretty savage opinion at that. Sorry,
It
you know
was-
what? It's been a really rough couple of weeks here.
It
So
has.
if I feel, a little disgruntled, I apologize.
And if you really want good food, you pay to go on the sit-downs. Liberty Tree,
Absolutely.
Diamond Horseshoe.
At any place but Pecos Bills.
Yeah. So I don't think we have a sit-down, or I don't think we have a quick service except maybe Pinocchio's, which it's okay.
You know what? The patty melt with the Impossible Burger
right.
isn't bad.
At
At
Cosmic.
Cosmic, because I'll go over there and that's like a backup for me.
My favorite thing to do, though, is either walk over to Contempo Cafe at the Contemporary,
Which is much better.
or Captain Cook's at the Poly.
Yes. Like eating, you would figure like Magic Kingdom is like their most popular park. And it is their most iconic. I mean, Epcot's right up there too, but like Magic Kingdom, everybody knows it.
And if you think about it, so Magic Kingdom being the biggest amount of attendance is at Magic Kingdom every year. They win the attendance record. If you think about it, though, there's only maybe 4 walk-up restaurants. Epcot has how many around the world?
Lot.
Hollywood Studios has a bunch. Animal Kingdom, even though it's smaller, there's still quite a few different choices.
And it tastes better. I just think they need to get with the program over at Magic Kingdom.
They need to look at what Disneyland does. Because
Disneyland's
Disneyland's
food
walk-up
is so
food
much
so much
better.
better. And you can only blame water so much.
Yeah, I mean, I usually do not have a hard time finding something to eat when we're out at Disneyland. The quality of food is better. It's just better. I don't know. I'm gonna stop ripping on Disney food right now. I apologize.
So we just got the email that we are off the Disney media list.
No, please
for now
don't.
in Pico.
But you know what? I think it's important to be transparent with our listeners because I don't want to tell you something that's not true.
I'm not going to tell you it's good, and then you go there and go, oh, my God, what were you thinking? Why would you send me there?
Why would you
was
say
horrible."
that? We're very honest. And I know, like, years ago, we used to kind of tippy-toe around the bad stuff. But we've been doing this 14 years. I kind of like, whatever, it is what it is.
So what's funny, so when Michele and I first moved here, and we would usually, we'd take the kids to school in the morning, and then we'd go to Disney. And before they got out of school. So we'd always do our school days. That would be our Disney
Yeah,
days
because we were
before.
trying to get content and stuff.
And we never ate at the park because 2 reasons. One, we couldn't afford to because we were so broke then. But B, because the options weren't really there for early. So we'd go to Golden Corral, which I know is not much of a better option.
Why are you putting our laundry out there?
But it was like
at
we used to go
Golden
there.
Corral?
I almost think that's a better option now.
That's not good food either.
But it's not what you get there. At least they have white meat chicken and stuff. And they have pizza and they have chili and they have stuff I'll
We used
eat.
to go for breakfast. Their breakfast bar was cheap. You could get like French toast
Biscuits and
stuff.
gravy were good. Pancakes were good. Cinnamon rolls good.
All right.
I'm hungry.
We're not sponsored by Golden Corral, but if they want to talk about it, they can email us.
Or Waffle House. I'll take some loaded hash browns.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
Okay, so that was our day at Magic Kingdom. And Pecos
After we
Bills.
bashed the crap out of Pecos Bills.
That's awesome. So the next few days we were busy doing work, LPA, stuff like that. And Michele did not know that there was a surprise happening for her come Friday. She had no idea what was going on. Greg had asked me to help him move a desk on Friday that he had bought somewhere. We never said where. Michele just assumed he got it at Cast Connection.
Because he had been talking for months that they had cheap furniture at Cast Connection.
And they do.
And they do. I just thought that because he kept mentioning that desk. So
Greg asked me if I could help him because our truck would hold the desk he wanted to buy and his wouldn't, our SUV. So I was going to meet Greg and we were going to go pick up his desk and take it back to his house and put it in. So it was going to take a little bit of time, but there was no desk.
there
Greg did
was
not
no
buy a
desk. They were lying.
I went to the airport to pick up one of Michele's besties. Paula came in.
Yes, one half of the Michigan Besties were here. Paula was here, and I did not know she was coming. There was no desk. He was actually just going to the airport.
And I was good about this one. I didn't change the office, so you didn't suspect anything. I didn't do anything. I tried to keep the house. I figured she was coming early enough in the day that I could get the room ready once she got here. But I didn't want to give anything that would give you, like, pause. Like, why is he straightening up the office and taking apart the tables and stuff?
Yeah, and I had anticipated just a boring weekend.
Well, it didn't turn out to be a boring weekend.
It sure did not.
So Paula arrived. She came to the house dressed as a unicorn.
So she had seen these videos where people surprise other people in these blow-up costumes, okay? And So I don't want to give the whole story because I did. If you want to hear the whole story, go to the Daydream Believing podcast.
Yes.
I had Paula on that show.
Yes.
So if you want to hear all the chatty girl talk and whatever else, Daydream Believing,
And that's actually one of your most downloaded shows to date.
because it's fun. Anyway, so
It's an 1.5 hour long show,
But
but
worth
it's a good show. So you might want to go check that out. Daydream Believing podcast. Check it out.
yes, on all your podcasting
Subscribe.
platforms. Subscribe. Okay, anyway, so long story short, I come out the front. There's a unicorn running at me. She had a broken wine bottle in her hand because they stopped to buy a bottle of wine and she dropped it. So she was determined to use the bottle of wine as she was running, but it was a broken bottle, like you were in a street fight. So
A unicorn comes running at you with a
what
broken
is
bottle.
going on here? There's a unicorn with a broken bottle, like charging at me. I just
You can't make this up.
you really can't. And I was like, is this a psycho person? Like, they're coming out with a weapon.
And the thing is, you stood there and waited to see what they were going to do.
Because I was froze. I'm like, and no, here's the thing. So my other bestie, Michele, was on FaceTime with her, and I heard Michelle's voice yelling. So then when I heard her, I was like, wait a second.
Michele has a very unique voice. I mean, we all know her voice when we hear it.
Yes.
We all-
And
yes.
it carries.
Yes.
Not that mine doesn't, but
Right.
yeah. So when I heard Michele, I was like, oh, okay. I think I know who the unicorn is.
So the unicorn was Paula. She came in on that Friday, and she was going to stay originally for a week or for 5 days.
Wednesday, but Hurricane had other ideas.
Milton had other ideas for her. So Paula arrived. You were very excited.
I was. I really needed that pick me up because I've been down in the dumps for way too long. So that was much needed.
Yes. So Paula came in. That first night, I think we ended up staying home. I don't think we went out. We just ordered Chick-fil-A, I think, for dinner or whatever. I think we
Yeah, we did because she was tired from all her
work and then
travel.
travel and everything. She's a nurse, so she works long hours. and then she
Yes,
flew
but
here.
we had Disney plans. So here's the thing: there were plans made before the unicorn was on the lawn.
Yes.
Like they had plans. Our friend Sean, we had plans to go to dinner with him on Saturday, which I did not know
That's
about.
Splitsville,
Yeah, Splitsville.
which is very good food, by the way.
Yes, and then Sunday they had already made plans to go to Horror Nights at Universal, and I didn't know about any of this. So my boring weekend turned into an already pre-planned weekend.
Yes, it did.
So we we sat around a lot, but we went to Splitsville Saturday night, and we had a really good time. We had some drinks and food with Sean. Walked around.
Actually, we closed the springs pretty much.
Yeah. And on my podcast, you can listen to it. I don't want to do too much repetition, but I was really surprised on how quickly everything shuts down at Disney Springs on a Saturday because it never used to be that way.
Yeah, they rolled up the carpet, and I mean, 11:30 is like, okay, store's closed, get out. It's like, wow.
So when we were walking past the Edison, Sean and I, so before COVID, Sean and I kept saying, we're going to go because they had a DJ at the Edison.
It was going to be the after-hours hotspot.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. And we kept saying, we're going to the Edison on a Friday or Saturday night, blah, 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 blah. Well, then the world shuts down. Then the Edison never came back as the hotspot on a Friday, Saturday night.
Nope.
And when he walked past it, he goes, remember when we were going to go there and there was going to be dancing and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I do. So now, like, about 11 o'clock, everybody's time to get out.
And the Edison used to be one of the clubs from Pleasure Island. That building, wasn't it? Or no? Or was that building was built brand new?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that because I just that's a lot of
Not sure.
information.
Okay.
Because
I'm sure somebody listening is going, oh, yeah, it was this club or whatever.
or they're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Which if it's not, that's fine. Because I know Morimoto Asia was mannequins.
Which was your favorite?
Yes. But then as you kept walking, there was 8 tracks, and then there was the comedy plays and Adventurers Club and the Beach Club and all this stuff, Comedy Warehouse. So there's a lot of buildings that were there. I don't exactly remember what was what because it was so long
And they
ago.
changed it up so much. They really did good hiding what was there. At one point.
Right. And then, I haven't, it's been 20 years since I've been to Pleasure Island. So, I don't remember everything because, and I was with Paula, by the way. And I just remember I couldn't wait to be old enough to go to Pleasure Island. And then when I was old enough to go, then it wasn't open very long.
So the Edison was actually the building that housed the Adventurers Club.
Really?
Yep. The building that's home to the Edison restaurant now was where the Adventurers Club was from 1989 to 2008.
Okay, well then that makes sense. I wasn't sure because again, it's been 20 years and I don't remember.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was curious if it was or not.
All I remember is before I was of age, I know we're sidebarring again, but before I was of age, I would walk through there because you could go through and there was the stores.
Right.
You could, do the New Year's party at night. You could do all that stuff. You just couldn't go in the clubs unless it was an all ages type of thing.
Right.
And I just kept thinking, I can't wait till I can go up there and I get the wristband and I can go do all the adult stuff. Go clubbing. And then, I never really got to enjoy it much because they closed. But it was a nice couple of times there.
There you go. At least you have those memories.
I do. But anyway, Sean and I were bumming because we're like, it's not what it is. And another sidebar, Disney needs some nightlife. I really
do.
Back in the day, it was so fun. And now, not everybody wants to go back to their hotel room right away. There's got to be options.
Especially at 11:30 on a Saturday. There's times in the summer the parks are open till midnight, which not right now they weren't unless there was a party. But it's like the parks weren't open late. Springs is closing at 11:30. It's like, come on.
Not everybody goes to bed early. I know when I'm on vacation, I don't want to go sit in the room and watch the news.
And the rooms aren't exactly that great. If you just have a standard room, it's just a room.
It's okay. You can walk around the resort or whatever, but if they would close the resort pools early, I just really think there's something to be said for some nightlife at Disney. So if anybody's listening, maybe there's a suggestion box somewhere.
Bring back Pleasure Island somewhere.
Bring back something. So anyway, we did go to, that was fun. And then the next day we kind of sat around because we were going to Horror Nights.
Somebody was scared of.
You know what, though? I don't know. So the rain was coming. We knew that Hurricane Milton was coming within days.
Yes.
So the rain was already starting.
Mm-hmm.
And going over to do Horror Nights in the rain was not fun. It was fun with our company that we had. It was fun that we made the best of it. But for those of you that don't know, they have scare zones and music and all kinds of stuff going on, the outdoor booths and everything. And it was the only thing that was happening really were the houses, and you had to stand in line in the rain for the houses. And it made me less scared to go in a house because I just wanted to get out of the rain at that point.
Right. You don't care how frightening it could be. You just want out of the rain.
I was soaked. We had ponchos on. Paula and I had an umbrella it's a Coach umbrella that I bought probably 15 years ago at the outlet store. It leaks, by the way. But we tried, everything, and then it was forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And then walking into some of the houses, so imagine your clothes are all soaked and your hair is soaked and everything, and you walk in there and there's a blast that's freezing in there.
Because all the actors who are in there, all the scare actors are costumed up, so they need to keep them cooler so their cast members don't pass, or their team members don't get too hot.
Right. So, but the rest of us poor people that are going in there all wet and you get a blast of cold, I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel like I completely stand corrected about some things.
Okay.
Because I used to say, remember, I've always said I love the props in the scare zones. I love the elaborate sets or whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought if they had less scare actors there, I could handle it better. But walking through the scare zones with props and absolutely nothing else happening was lame.
Yeah.
And granted, I don't want anyone chasing me with a chainsaw, but I want the option to see what's going on and stand on the sidewalk if I want to.
Right.
It just, I feel like we did not get our money's worth because, granted, we're pass holders. We had an extra ticket, but you really get, what's the word? You just don't get the full.
You don't get the full, and Paula did pay for her ticket, but she did see it what it's like last year, but HHN changes every year.
Right. And when we went last year, it didn't rain and we had a good time and we did the scare zones and we did everything. But yeah, and I did 3 houses.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm getting more used to these things. because if I'm disappointed that the scare zones weren't running, that's big.
And they did have a couple actors in the medieval one when we first walked by the Mummy there.
When it was just very sprinkly.
But then within
they were gone.
An hour, they were gone, and there was none. So you walked through the Bloomhouse area, and they had all the stages set up. None of the actors
Not a
out.
single.
You walked past the stages over there where it's on your way to DreamWorks Land, that little area that's always looks like a scary forest almost because you got trees and everything.
Well, yeah, but it's a zombie like fisherman.
Yeah, zombie swamp.
Yeah, or like the bayou, but zombie version.
Yeah.
So there was no zombie fisherman back
No.
there.
And
There
then
was
the
like
chainsaw
nothing.
people weren't out.
Yeah, I'm good with that
doing-
part.
And then there's the other, I don't know what it's called, but the first area that's over by the Monster Show.
Yeah, I don't know. There was these big tree-looking things up, and there was nobody on them.
No,
But anyway, yeah, if you can avoid going to Horror Nights in the rain, I suggest you avoid.
Yes, but go because
But
it
go.
really is. She did like the Ghostbusters house. I don't know how much you saw. I know you saw Slimer because I heard you say, "Oh, it's Slimer."
Yeah, so I didn't hide my head the whole time in Ghostbusters. The other two, I didn't really pop around and look. I don't know. I'm gonna get better at it. Me being disappointed was one thing, but before we move on to something else, I will say that I took Paula. So if you're a Universal goer, pass holder, regular, there's this bartender over by the Jaws area named Murph. And Murph does this, he makes these shark drinks, okay? But you don't just get the drink with Murph. You get a whole shark presentation and, thanks for chomping by, blah, blah, blah. So I told him, like, my friend's from Michigan, are you doing the shark thing? He goes, don't spoil it. So, yeah, so he did that little thing for her. So, there were good parts about going.
Pouring down rain, and he still did the little.
And he still did the Sharky Shark for us.
So you did Ghostbusters, you also did Universal Monsters Bloodlines, and then you did Goblin's Feast.
Yeah,
Those
which
were the
was
three
dumb.
houses.
The Goblins one was dumb. But I kept my head down, and Paula's jean jacket was all wet, so I had my forehead on her wet jacket for most of it. But, we wanted to get out and have a good time because we knew the hurricane was coming.
Right.
And, around here, you talk about rolling up the sidewalks. Like, when hurricanes are coming, they start telling you locally, like, our grocery store shut down at a certain time.
6:00 the day before, wasn't it?
Yeah, on a Tuesday, and
Yeah.
it was closed Wednesday, and we didn't even get the brunt of it until in the a.m. Thursday because it kept moving.
Right.
So when we were saying earlier that waiting for a hurricane is like really like watching paint dry, and the waiting is terrible because it changes so much and you don't know what's going to happen. And then for us, being, a website and media for Disney, we have to watch for all the closures, whether it, all the theme parks in the area, any updates. So
NCO closed. That was the first one that came.
Oh
in,
yeah,
was
the
from
airport even.
Yeah.
So like we have to watch all that stuff in addition to get our house ready and all that. And it was it was a bad storm. It was loud here. It was Paula's first hurricane, and she kept going like every hour. She did like a video. She went out on the porch until it got to be about 2:00 in the morning. She couldn't even get that door open.
Yeah, the wind got that strong.
And then I tried to peek my head out, and the door slammed like right in my face. That's how hard that wind was going.
And it was coming right at our front door.
It was.
We did have water come in the front door, like underneath, around the cracks and stuff, so we had to put towels there. But it wasn't bad. we were able to.
No, and in the office where we were sitting in right now, you just put back together today because their office flooded. You had to pull back the carpet and all that. But all in all, it went well. As could be. It could have been so much worse. Water in the house as opposed to people losing their homes. Yeah, so last week was a lot of waiting, and Paula couldn't get out of here because they kept canceling flights.
She was supposed to leave
Wednesday. Friday.
Wednesday evening. She was supposed to.
She didn't get out till Friday evening.
Yes, so 48 hours extra she had to stay.
Right, and I'm gonna sidebar something because I think this is important. So, for those of you out there who, follow Disney media, or social media, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
however you get your Disney news.
Right. So there was some photos and some video going around of Magic Kingdom completely underwater. Different areas at Disney that looked like they were flooded. Well, they were AI. They were not real.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody brought it to my attention. And I put it in our Instagram stories that was a bold-faced lie, because it was.
Yep.
And the one person, I think his name was like Reggie. We're gonna call him Reggie.
I think it was Reggie. Yeah.
Okay, so Reggie is one of the ones that put this stuff out for clicks, and then he limited comments, so you couldn't even tell him, that he's full of crap.
Because he was getting hits off of it.
Right. And I was seeing people, and this is Facebook, I was seeing people share it going, oh my gosh, poor Magic Kingdom. Okay, well, you have to watch your sources, and if something looks too crazy or whatever, please double, triple check
around.
Because that made me so angry because we try to at the Main Street Mouse, we try very hard to put out facts. We do not put out speculation, rumor, or flat out lies.
And not to boost our own status, but we're told by cast members that they don't believe it until they see it on the Main Street Mouse.
Right. Our cast members love us, and we love them right back. And, we try to do them justice because we know if we put out stuff that isn't true or that is a rumor or it's fabricated, then it makes their lives even more difficult. Yep. And I don't want to do that. But my whole point was that this misinformation that was going around just like irked my soul. I was so angry because I see these people, and I see people that share that I actually know of, and it's like, come on, better. I mean, and if you really looked at the photos, there was no stage at the castle. It was a bad AI.
Yeah, you could tell they had water, and then they put the top of Magic Kingdom on top of the water. That's all it was. And that's one of the scary things about AI, though, is they can generate AI to look like anything they want to. Because AI is that good. There is nobody out there who can create images better than AI.
No, and it's scary because if you think about it, like somebody, let's say somebody, like you're in a job, let's say, and, in an office, and somebody in your office don't like you. They can AI generate you saying or doing things that you did not do, complete fraud, to defame you.
I remember about maybe a year and a half ago, there was a guy who he took a video of himself and saying the words, whatever he was going to say, and then using AI, he put Tom Cruise's face over his.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cruise was and then it used Tom Cruise's voice to speak the words. But it just put Tom Cruise's face on his, spoke the words that he said originally, and he put the video side by side to show you that his mannerisms, his blinking, everything was perfectly in sync to show what AI
and
do
it was him
for those deep fakes.
Right. And I'm just asking that I think a lot of our followers know better. Yes. But if you ever see something that seems a little off or seems too weird to be true, it probably is.
Probably is.
But yeah, shame on those people. And I'm going to take it a step further, and I don't care right now.
You already ripped on Pecos? Let's do it.
Let's do it. There are quote-unquote content creators that try to use tragedies to get more hits. Yep. And I find that to be disgusting because people are, losing their homes, losing their pets, losing family members, losing everything. And you're trying to be an amateur meteorologist out there like, oh, there's a tree down at Disney or go.
Oh, yeah. I saw that video of somebody walking around.
Yeah. It's like, come on. The cast members are there to take care of guests that have come in that have no place to go. Right. People that you're stuck.
Like Paula, she was supposed to leave on Wednesday. She was stuck here for 2 more days because there was no way to get out of town.
Right.
And these people who are stuck at Disney, they don't even have a friend with them at their house, a lot of them. They're stuck at Disney. They really have no place else to go.
Or you have people in South Florida that come up this way to get out of the path because their homes are about to be destroyed.
Tampa, a lot of them.
And I have no respect for people that try to get clicks and hits off of tragedies like this and make it harder for the cast members that are trying to take care of guests. Not you doing TikTok dances in the middle of, not that I saw anybody do that. I'm just trying to be dramatic.
But it does. It's one thing to report there's a hurricane coming in.
Yes.
These places are closed. Information is great, but don't sit there and make it like you're what's the guy on the Weather Channel?
Jim Cantor.
Don't act like you're Jim Cantor standing out on World Drive going, the wind is really picking up around here. We're going to blow over. And look at the sign just came crashing. Whatever.
Go home. You'll be fine without clicks for a day. You will.
But that just tells you as society where these people are that they care more about making that dollar than pointing out somebody's tragedy that they just went through. Now, how many people lost their homes? Thankfully, not a lot of people passed in the storm, but there was some that passed. And
the previous storm, when we had Helene go through,
there was a ton of people that passed away.
And it's like, where's your humanity? Where's your compassion? And I'm sorry. I just think that is terrible to do. I do.
And there's still people missing from Helene that
Yes.
they haven't found. And
Yes.
there's still flooding and stuff like that people are dealing.
Yes.
My friend Tim in Tennessee told me they're still working on cleanup in Tennessee. Tennessee should not have to worry about a hurricane.
No, but it's like if you, like Disney, when it comes to Disney in particular, Disney is a safe place to ride out a hurricane. And the cast members, they have the ride out crews that they come in, they spend the night with guests.
Yep.
They have activities in the lobby. You know, these cast members are doing their very best to keep people calm, to keep people entertained.
Just to pass the time. Let's
just
get it
to
over
pass
with.
the time, let people know they're safe and they're okay. And I feel like people that you know, make these reports and do these things are being alarmists. And, you know, that doesn't help anyone.
And I know that there are some of the influencers or the content creators out there who purposely go and rent a room at Disney during a hurricane so they can be a part of the whole thing, even though they have a home that's not that far that they could be just as safe at their home. Yes, Disney, granted, they're built for safety. When they build these hotels, they build them with hurricanes in mind. When they built the castle was built knowing hurricanes come through here. I didn't hear anybody say the hurricane, they're taking it apart this time. Usually you hear that.
No, you know what, though? I mean, I don't want to spend any more time on this, but I'm just saying that I think as a society, we have lost a lot of compassion and you know, doing the right thing for other people, that it's not just about you, me, whoever.
Right.
You have to think past your own nose.
And one more PSA I'm going to give on this, and it
boy.
has nothing to do with Disney. But if you have animals, do not tie them to a fence and leave your house.
Oh my God. There was a dog that a trooper found on the side of the road tied to a fence, and they got this poor baby, and the baby's fine.
The dog was up to his shins, though,
In water.
standing water.
Like, come on, people.
And he was tied to a fence. He could not get away. So eventually, had that trooper not seen him, he would have drowned.
He would have.
And thank God the trooper found him. But you always hear those stories every storm that people would, I tied the dog to the kitchen table. So if the water came,
good idea.
So you trap the dog who would know by instinct to get to higher ground to stay dry. You tied it and you just gave it it's like, I understand people don't want anything to happen to their dogs, but just, you know what? Take care of your pets.
Take care of everything. Sorry, you got to understand. We just got out of the other side of a hurricane. We're tired. We're crabby. And it's like, you know, we just are hoping that everybody who suffered, you know, damage to their homes and losses and whatnot, you know, we pray for them and hope that they get, you know, things back to normal as soon as possible. And as far as us around Disney, we're fine. Disney's fine. The castle did not flood. There you go.
There you go. Move on. So Paula did leave on Friday, correct?
She did.
She did get to go home on Friday. She had to go right to work because she was supposed to be at work. She was actually supposed to work Thursday and Friday. She called and talked to her bosses, and they said, "We understand. Just take care of yourself."
Her one
stay
manager
safe.
was like, "Yeah, well, we're short on the night shift," so she had to like go home, get her scrubs, and go work midnight.
Yes.
So, you know what? God bless you, Paula, for having to
Yes.
do something like that. I would have been so irritated.
Yeah, I know. I would have been too.
Really?
It's like, I'm leaving a hurricane and
a
you want me to come.
hurricane.
But I get it because
In Michigan,
As
you
Michigan-
know what? It's business as usual.
it is. And they still have, and as a nurse in a hospital, she has patients to take care of. So I get
She
it.
works
I
in the
mean,
NICU, so she
Yes.
loves those babies, and I know that she loves her job.
That's her heart. That's what she loves to do is take care of those children.
Yeah,
so
and then there's disgruntled people like me. They'd be like, "Really?"
really, I don't
But
think
yeah,
I'm much.
she's a better person than me for that. Let me tell you.
So and we're still on adventures for Florida living. We're at 48 minutes already.
Okay, let's keep going.
So the last thing that I wanted to mention that we did before we'll get into news was on Saturday, Greg and Holly messaged us, asked us if we wanted to meet for breakfast at Cracker Barrel. We wanted to go chit-chat and do some talking. So we met them at Cracker Barrel on 192. And the first thing we all noticed is the Cracker Barrels got remodeled.
Oh my gosh. We walked in and I'm like, this is an alternate universe.
Where are we?
Where are we? Now, they had all the stuff in the store. Maybe we're late to maybe we didn't get
Maybe
the
we
memo.
are, but we hadn't been there in a few months, but I didn't think it'd been
I
that
mean,
long.
and the last time we went was with Greg and Holly.
That's who we
and
always
it
go
was
with.
still, it was still Cracker Barrel. We walk in, and I'm like, it looks a whole lot brighter in here. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just the Christmas stuff. Because I love Cracker Barrel's store, like, with my whole heart. I love that store.
And they had Halloween section, Thanksgiving section, and Christmas section.
So exciting.
And a chicken section, we found out later.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Anyway. So then we go to get seated, and everything is remodeled. There's no more like old-fashioned pictures on the wall. Everything is like a cream colored.
Mm-hmm. They had booths.
They have booths. Like Cracker Barrel should not have a booth.
There was tables and chairs, but there was also booths. I saw one table that sat 12 people, and it was one solid long table that had 12 people.
Right. And then
around.
even our table, we had a table for 4, and it was a huge flipping table.
Me and Greg want that table for podcasting because we could really sit around that
huge.
table. It was humongous.
But like we all sat down, and it took us a good 5 minutes to reacclimate because we're like, this does not. And they changed the menu. It was like someone played a joke.
It wasn't the paper menus either. They were laminated menus. It was so different.
Cracker Barrel, you totally flipped my world.
And it was so bright in there. That's what we kept saying. Go, oh my God, I can see my food. It wasn't dark.
I kept saying, I'm getting a shadow on the table from all this brightness above my head. I go, maybe we're just getting to that point where we just don't like so much change.
It was a lot.
Cracker Barrel just is one of those things that's been that way for years, and it just didn't feel like you were at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it was a totally different feel, but we ate. Food was still good. The menu had changed. Some of the things had changed the options of what certain meals you may have gotten before, what they came with, but we ate and all that. And then after we left there, we went in the store again. Michelle and Holly were looking around until Greg started playing with the chickens.
You know those really loud screaming chickens that are all over?
You squeeze them and they
squeeze them and they like that type of thing. That's a really bad impression. But they're like the screaming chickens. Well, Greg decided to pick up like 8 of them and squeeze them all at the same time.
I swear it was the Imperial March at one point.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And the thing is that these chickens, one chicken is loud, 8 chickens is like a chorus of chicken.
And we're just laughing at Greg.
I think you could have probably heard it outside. It was so funny. And we're so goofy and immature. Like, you can't take us anywhere, especially Greg.
I don't know how we didn't get kicked out.
We were laughing, but then he finally put him down. But then we went over to Cast Connection.
Yes.
For a little bit.
Which we hadn't been there in a while.
We have not.
And I didn't buy cheese this time.
I did not. You can buy groceries at Cast Connection. You can buy cheese and chicken nuggets and
all the stuff they sell in the parks. A lot of it they sell onion rings, French fries, not the good French fries, the regular French fries, and they don't have cheddar barbecue seasoning on them.
Oh, you can't buy the seasoning, huh?
No, but you could probably buy crappy chicken pieces.
Ew. All right, yeah. I didn't see a bag of dark meat chicken, but
boil in
whatever.
a bag chicken pizzas. But anyway, so that was fun. It's always whenever we're with Greg and Holly, it's always a story.
There's always a story.
And the story isn't Michelle, myself, or Holly. The story always comes from something Greg does.
Because Greg needs, I don't know, he needs supervision. And what's funny, when the chicken thing happened, Holly walks over there and she's like, "Stop it, Greg!" And then she looked at him and turned right back around and
you started videotaping it.
I couldn't help myself because he looked ridiculous.
You tell me I egg him on, and you start videotaping it. It's like, oh, you just gave him an audience. He's listening to this right now. He's probably laughing, going, "She did give me an audience." I couldn't stop.
You know what? He reminds me of like a kid that, you know, when they know that they're being funny or getting your attention, they just keep going.
No matter what anybody else says.
Right. And Greg gets me like in tears from all the silliness. So yeah, I didn't help matters any. But Holly was like, "Nope, turn around. Nope, I'm out." Poor Holly.
I know. Holly's like, "Stop it, Greg. Stop it, Greg." And he just kept doing it.
Greg, stop it.
And Greg's like, "Michelle is filming me. I can't stop." So that was our adventures in Florida living for the last 2 weeks. I know we probably missed a lot of little stuff in there, but it's been an adventure.
You get the idea.
You get the idea. So we just have a few Disney news stories we want to touch on really quickly here. One thing we did want to mention, and because we didn't get a chance to mention this before, Ken Page, the voice of Oogie Boogie, passed away.
He did.
The day after our last show, I believe it was, or 2 days after our last show. It was really quickly.
I think it was the day after, because didn't you and Greg talk about it on your show? So it's been like 2 weeks.
Yes. There was actually a handful of people all passed away there within a short window time.
Oh, I know. It was terrible. It just like every day you got up and it was just somebody else. Yeah. And, Ken Page obviously is the infamous voice of Oogie Boogie, and that's sad. I mean,
yes.
I don't know. It's just one of those iconic things that he will always be remembered for by Disney fans, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And he had a lot of credit. So if you go look, I mean, he's been on Broadway.
Yeah.
He's done, his voice is iconic. I mean, it's like, he's one of those guys, kind of like James Earl Jones when we lost him, that iconic voice. Well, Ken Page had a similar type of voice that everybody kind of knew that voice. They knew Oogie Boogie's voice when he did it.
Everybody knows Oogie's voice. The
Everybody
Boogeyman.
knows Oogie. I can't even do it. I'm not
Nope,
going to try.
that was not
I'm
even
going to try.
close.
Not even going to try it out. So we did see Ken last year at Spookala. He was there. And then Michele and I's very first media event we ever covered in Michigan, which was Motor City Con. Ken was one of the guests at that event.
Yeah, back in 2014.
Yeah, he was there with Chris Sarandon.
Who was
Jack
Jack.
Skellington.
Yes.
So the two of them were together. So rest in peace, Ken. You're going to be missed. Just a couple other things we want to mention. Blogs that you can find on the Main Street Mouse. There's foodie events coming to Disney Springs in October and November. So check the blog. You can see the link in the show notes. There's new festive holiday merchandise on DisneyStore.com.
And in the parks.
Is there anything that you saw that you have to have for the Christmas
man.
holidays? Or is
So,
it too much to list?
You know, here's the thing. Like, I did not buy any Disney Halloween stuff this year, which is a shock.
Yeah, it's a very
'Cause I
shocking.
always
You always buy something for the house.
and I have not. I don't know about Christmas. I mean, I may have to buy something, but so I really like the holiday like sweaters, sweatshirts, spirit jerseys, whatever they may be, the bags, backpacks. My biggest hang up is that I cannot wear it longer than like a month and a half.
Right. Yeah.
And not to mention, living in Florida, like we do get cool evenings and it does get cooler and cooler.
Yes.
But you know, there's been times that it hasn't gotten really chilly here till January. So it's like one of those
And
things.
you can't wear a Christmas sweater.
Can't. I mean,
in
I don't
January.
know. I don't know. Last year there was this sweater and it was candy cane swirls and it had like
I
Mickey
remember
on
that.
it.
Yep.
I loved that sweater
Mhm.
and I looked at it every stinking time,
Well, and
and
that's-
I'm sad that I did not buy it.
And that's the problem is that you have to buy it the first time you see it to give yourself the most time to wear it.
Right.
Because if you wait, you're halfway through November now. I'm going to wait. And then first week of December rolls around, it's like, I really want to buy that sweater, but now I only have a month. And then a week later, I still want the sweater, but now I only have 3 weeks left before Christmas is over. And it's like, before you know it, Christmas is here. And it's like, crap, I
And
didn't
you
get the
use
sweater.
that stuff for such a short period of time.
Here.
Last year at Halloween, there was this like pinky salmony colored Halloween sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it at the beginning of the season. And it's soft, it's cute, it's fantastic. Love it. I cannot find it. So I did do the right thing. I bought it early. I would wear it, you know, 'cause I get cold in restaurants here,
Yes, you do.
stores. You keep this house like an icebox. So I will wear it. Can't find it. And then, you know what? Maybe I'll find it in the spring. I don't know.
Well, you can only hope by March you should be able to find
But
it.
it just makes me mad that I actually did something, bought myself something like that, and I don't know where it is, and it's tragic.
It's got to be somewhere in this house.
Oh, good luck.
Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Who knows? Another thing that happened recently is the Skyliner, if you can believe this, celebrates 5 years.
Yes.
That's crazy because it doesn't feel like it's been around for 5 years.
You know, I remember that media event so well
Mhm.
and riding that Skyliner for the first time. And coincidentally, I forgot to mention that. So Paula,
That's
when
right.
she was here, I couldn't do much with her because of the hurricane.
Right.
But the Tuesday before the hurricane, we had a pretty clear afternoon, and all she asked me for was to ride the Skyliner.
Right.
That's it. So I took her. We went over to Hollywood Studios and parked in the parking lot
Mm-hmm.
and took her to the Skyliner. Her and you didn't go with us, but her and I
No.
took the track all the way over to Epcot.
I went in the park.
You did. Sky doesn't like the Skyliner. I love it. And I was like, you know, I love being a tour guide. And before it was getting ready to take off, I told her, I said, okay. She goes, it's stuffy in here. I said, give it a minute.
Yeah.
And then when you take off, you're going to feel all this air rush at you and you're going to feel like you're flying.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, she's like, oh my gosh. I mean, and it was, and then the track back from Epcot is higher.
Yeah.
So you get that feeling of flying even more so. So by the end of it, every time we went up, we were putting our hands up like we were on a roller coaster. It was great. But I love the Skyliner. I wish, excuse me, I wish it went further other places because I think it's a great method of transportation
Mhm.
because there's so many of them, and it goes above the roadways. You're not stuck in traffic.
Right.
You're not stuck waiting for something else. It's continuous.
I still think so. The way they did it, so basically, you look at it, the Riviera to Epcot is a good way to look at it. There is no reason why they couldn't do the Riviera to Disney Springs. But the only problem is they would have to get above the road because there's that road that comes in over.
Yes.
That's the only thing that they have to go really high to get above
that's right,
that.
because there is that like off the freeway off I-4.
Yeah, so that would be the only thing is they have to get high enough to go over that road, which I think they could do it if they really wanted to. Because I know those things go like hundreds of feet in the air in some areas.
I just love it. I think it's great, and she loved it, so I'm really glad that we got to do that. And it just happened to be the anniversary. But yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
It's not that I actually hate. I just don't like the height. I don't like hanging up there, and when it stops is when I start to panic. I have a problem with
fun.
Yeah, I know you do. Now I've rode it. I mean, like when we stayed at Caribbean Beach years ago, we rode it to go to Cape May and then to Epcot because it's the best way to.
It's so much fun. There was one time, I think it was during a media event, that we rode it. I think it was when we did before COVID, the whole tour.
Yep.
And it was dark and windy, and we got stuck over the water on the way to Art of Animation. That was a little scary because it was dark, it was swinging, and we're stuck. Yeah. But other than that, I think it's great.
Yeah, I can't understand why I'm scared to death of it.
Oh, it's fun. Stop.
Okay. It's great. Fun. Love it. Love it. Another thing I want to talk about, something that Greg broke the news. We put the news out. Cake Bake Shop's menu came out, and their prices for what they charge for a slice of cake.
Stupid.
So the Cake Bake Shop is the new bakery shop that's opening at the boardwalk. It's in the old ESPN building.
Right, and they're going to have food there, too.
They're going to have food there. But the prices.
Holy cannoli.
It's like, learn your audience because it's higher than Disney prices.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. So I put it out. We're talking like $26 for a piece of cake.
A piece, not a cake.
A peanut butter and jelly for $18.
Probably an Uncrustable.
It could be an Uncrustable. So I was outraged because I already think everything is too expensive. So when I put it out, I was reading comments, as I do, and most people were, up in arms about it. But sprinkled in maybe one or two, they said that this is a high-end chain, that there's other cake bake shops in other places like up north. Let's just say Chicago because I can't remember.
Okay, but I could see that fitting in. So if you put it on the Miracle Mile in Chicago where all the shops Magnificent Mile. You put it on there, people know that they're going to be spending a lot more money for that. Or if you put it in New York, in the heart of New York,
City,
where it's gonna be LA, Beverly Hills, places like that, people expect to pay a lot.
Because food is expensive in those places. And yeah, Disney is expensive too. But this is really expensive.
Take your family of four to the Cake Bake Shop and let everybody get a slice of cake then. You're going to spend more on the cake for four people than you will to have dinner anywhere in the park.
Right. And like their breakfast sandwiches are like $26.
No, I'll go to McDonald's and I'll get $26 breakfast for five people.
I'll go get that. I literally like that egg white McMuffin.
Oh,
it's not a McMuffin.
The egg white grill from Chick-fil-A. You
Chick-fil-A.
love it.
I said McMuffin at Chick-fil-A, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like, if I'm not going to spend that much money for it, I don't care how good it is.
And then some people were like, well, you could split the piece of cake. I'm sorry. And if you want a whole cake, it's over $100.
If we split a piece of cake and you take one bite that's a little bit bigger than any one I took, I'm going to be livid.
Let's divvy this up the right way because
I'm going to weigh it, make sure it weighs the exact same amount. The cake was 8 ounces, so you got 4. Wait a minute, mine's 3.9. It's not 4.
No, and for your knowledge, it's not open yet. They're doing testing right now, but it's not open yet. So if you cannot wait to get your $18 peanut butter and jelly sandwich or your $26 piece of cake, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to put out a statement right now. This place will be closed quicker than the Star Cruiser was.
So, okay, so the Star Cruiser was another thing that was very tone deaf to the times as far as price goes.
Right now, attendance is way down at Disney because people can't afford it. The economy right now sucks and people can't afford to really do. We drove past Disney Day. There was hardly anybody in the Magic Kingdom's parking lot. It was not full at all. you're going to tell me you're going to make a profit selling. How much are they making on that $26 cake? ESPN was always busy. ESPN always had a crowd in there. They ripped that out of there because we can't have a sports bar at Boardwalk. Why would we want a sports
Heaven
bar?
forbid. Let's sell expensive cake.
Why would we want a place where people could actually go and watch a football game on a Sunday? Like Sam, when he comes down here, he has no place to go on Disney property anymore to go watch a football game.
Right. But if you look at just for reference or just something to compare it to, over at Earl's Sandwich, they sell the Cake Boss pieces of cake, and those are like, what, $9-10?
I think sometimes 12, depending on which one it is.
Right.
9 to 12.
And it's huge. You could buy a piece of that and share it with everybody at your table. Not everybody. Like if you a couple people.
But I thought that was high price.
Me too. And not, yeah.
But a funny little story on that, Cake Boss also sells the slices at Walmart for like $4 a slice.
Oh, I forgot.
And they're just a little bit smaller than the ones at Earl's Sandwich.
Yeah, so you can go over to the Walmart and get the same thing.
Yep. And they're the exact same thing. They're wrapped. They got the little plastic container with the Carlos's Bakery label on it, and they're the exact same look that they are at Earl's Sandwich. So that just tells you the markup that this stuff goes through. And there's
it's
a
a novelty also.
And there's a Carlos's Bakery at Florida Mall.
Yeah, there is.
And there was always a line.
Yeah, you could buy cupcakes and various things. But yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not purposely trying to rip on those who can afford $26 cake.
It just seems a lot for
It's
even if you can
not
afford it.
trying to be sour grapes over here. It's just, and we all have varying opinions. And you have some people that come to the Disney World or whatever, come to the parks, and they we're gonna buy whatever the heck we want. We'll deal with the repercussions when we go home.
Right.
And if that's your kind of vacation, then you're going to love this place.
That better be a darn good piece of cake. That's
it
all
better
I
be the
gotta
best
say.
cake ever.
Because if it's even dry in the slightest, I want a refund.
And here's the thing. I love home-baked Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines
You
cake.
like the homemade ones, though. You don't like store-bought ever.
I don't like store-bought cake all that much. I would rather have somebody make me like Duncan Hines or Betty Crocker with the frosting and put it in the fridge because I love cold cake. And that's less than $5 for the whole cake.
And that's including the eggs, the oil, and everything to make it.
Right. I love that much better. So you have to, again, like I said, with the nasty chicken, and now with the cake. I mean, it's just my opinion.
I have a problem at Disney paying $14 for a burger. Can't see and that comes with fries. There is no way I can see myself spending $20-some for a slice of cake.
I hear it's good.
I don't care how good it is. I can go buy the whole cake at Costco for $15.
Costco.
You know what? I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go to Costco. I'm going to buy 4 Costco cakes. I'm going to sit outside the cake bake shop and I'm going to sell slices for $10. And I am going to make more money than that cake bake shop.
Because you wouldn't get escorted off property. There goes our careers.
We'll do it really quick, though. Hey,
really quick.
We'll be like the guy who opened the jacket.
With the watches.
I got chocolate, vanilla, German chocolate. Which one you want?
Anyway, moving on.
Something else that just dropped is the new Princess line of products for Scentsy.
Disney has a partnership with Scentsy, as most people know, and today new princess merch dropped. It's like a looks like a poofy princess pillow with a crown on it, but it's actually a wax warmer. There's links on our site if you want to go check that out. I did a write-up, but they also have clearance Disney stuff and stuff for the holidays, and they're great gifts for somebody or for yourself.
Just make sure, so if you go on the Main Street Mouse, I think we do have a link on the Main Street Mouse, but you also put out a blog today, which I will link to in the show notes. So if you're going to purchase it, please consider clicking on the link in there because that is Michelle's Scentsy link. And
it's one of my little side hustles.
Yeah, and it gives us, that's how we keep stuff running is with purchases through her Scentsy link. So if you see that and you could click on it if you're going to go purchase, we'd appreciate that. So.
Yeah, same with Lost Princess Apparel. Head on over there as well.
Yes, please go to Lost Princess Apparel.
Please.
You need new leggings.
You need leggings. You just do.
Ladies, I don't care if your husband says no. You need those leggings.
Right, and that's a man telling you that you need leggings. So I think we need to all listen to that.
Or skirts,
right?
Tunics, whatever you want. We've got quite a bit of stuff over there. And guys, there's some button-down shirts still available.
That's right.
Just
shameless
Just
plug.
Shameless plug. I'm gonna throw that in there. So hopefully people are laughing at that. And they're like, "How could he say?"
Oh my gosh!
Exactly.
Right, sorry. Anyway.
So the last Disney news I wanted to mention was something that just came out recently, like within the hour or so before, a couple hours before we went to record.
Right.
Which was some major closures coming to Walt Disney World for some of the new stuff that that they said a D23 is going to be coming.
Right. So one that I did not anticipate is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is going to be closed all of 2025. I did not even have an inkling that was coming.
And it makes sense, though, if you think about it, because they got to tear out Tom Sawyer Island and all that, but then beyond Big Thunder, how are they going to get everything to it?
So some people are thinking they're going to put a whole new track on because it is so bumpy and rough. I don't think they're going to change the ride itself, but a new track would be great.
Well, then it won't be a medically thing to help you pass a kidney stone.
Oh, I forgot about the kidney stone thing. So yeah, that's going to be closed. January of 2025.
January 6th, it looks like.
Is it January 6th?
Yep, January 6th when it's closing.
No, I was going on to Animal Kingdom.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still on that one.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. I was moving along.
Go to Dino Land.
Dino Land, bye-bye. There's some things that are closing over there. The Triceratops Spin, is that what it's called?
Triceratops Spin.
And the games.
Fossil Fun Games, and then Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures, which has always been one of my favorite stores to walk through.
So that's leaving too?
Yep.
Aww.
Yep.
When we used to vacation here, we loved that store.
Love that store, 'cause you'd always find unique stuff in there you didn't find anywhere
Or
else.
I'd find a little snack or something. Or remember I used to buy the keychains or the stuff to put on the antenna toppers, which nobody has anymore.
Nobody has those. Nobody has antennas.
That's right.
So that's all happening January 12th.
We're gonna.
No, I'm sorry. The last day is January 12th.
We're gonna have to definitely go over there.
Definitely have to go over there and get some last minute video footage and just to walk through the area and all that. So I would guess it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. So the restaurants are still going to stay. So Restaurantosaurus is still going to be open. Dino Bites Snacks and Trillo Bites.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say it? Those will stay open. There's no closing given on those yet.
As of yet.
But I assume they'll either get rethemed eventually or they will close.
Right. I mean, all of this is stuff that, they have to start doing these things to make way for the whole new area back there. So it's not like we didn't know it was coming, but it's just one of those things that, like, I think Dino Land needed to go. They needed to do everything. So it's just the nostalgia of it, I suppose. But,
Well, when Primeval World got ripped out, I mean, they dismantled it.
They just ripped that sucker out.
The only thing I never understood about that, so in past years when Disney would do any kind of refurbishment or tear down anything, they would hang those big banners that are the same length of what height of
or
what
put
was
fake
ever
bushes
there.
up.
Yeah, and they didn't with
They didn't.
where
They're like, hey,
Primeval
we ripped this out. Oh, well.
Yeah, it was like the dinosaurs. It was just extinct like that. It was just gone. They tore it all out of there, so it was kind of crazy.
Speaking of, you will probably hear more about, because, they are going to be closing the dinosaur ride, and they will be making that into Indiana Jones. So this is just the beginning of what's going to be going on back there. So if you still want to get over there and check it out, you have till early January.
Yep, don't miss out, because once they close
it's gone.
And I'm sure some people will start their petitions and their boycotts.
Don't start.
And all that
Lord
stuff.
have mercy. All right.
So if they take away that one little gator that's in that one pond back there, I'm boycotting.
Well, you boycott. You get a change.org.
Animal
petition
Kingdom
going.
needs a alligator sitting back there.
Okay. There was more.
Magic Kingdom was the next one on your list. I'm reading it here, and it was the Jungle Cruise is reopening October 16th, and Jingle Cruise will return on November 2nd.
Yes, so Jingle Cruise will be back this year.
I like the Jingle Cruise.
I know you
it's
do.
Cheesy, but I like
It's cheesy, but it's fun.
Yeah. And then the next one you had was the Studios with the Little Mermaid: A Musical Adventure.
Yeah, and what's funny is that I believe that we were talking about this with Greg last week about how it was supposed to be open this year, and then this year is running out. And like when you go back there, remember we were talking about it.
We walked back there last time.
And we were like, there's nothing happening. So now that's not going to open until 2025.
And that whole area just seems really weird to me. I mean, just that whole area, because you have Little Mermaid, which is closed, the Launch Bay, which really has nothing
The Launch
anymore.
Bay doesn't apply back there anymore. And then
Disney
they have
Junior.
Disney Junior. It's like a hodgepodge land back there. And I have to believe that with monsters and different things coming, that eventually they're going to put theming together that makes sense back there.
I would hope so.
Because this week, was it this week or last week? The Lightning McQueen Academy thing is gone.
Yes.
Too. So
I didn't get over there before I left.
I know. Well, we had a hurricane.
That's true.
So yeah, so that's gone now too.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't understand the whole. So Launch Bay definitely has to go because it's nowhere near Galaxy's Edge. So it needs to. If you're going to have that, shouldn't it be?
I remember like back in 18 or whenever it was when they opened the Launch Bay, and we went over there so many times because everybody just thought it was so cool. And I don't even know why it was so cool, but we just kept going in there.
I think it was the props.
And it was new.
And then you had also the meet and greets with Chewbacca. or Vader, wasn't it? Was it
Vader was if you were a Visa card holder or something.
Was it Kylo Ren then was in the other one? Chewbacca was in one side.
Kylo.
'Cause I remember we had that iconic photo with Andrew, and I told Kylo that he was the rebel spy.
Yeah.
Kylo got right in his face.
Yeah, that is great. And then eventually they put BB-8 back there.
Yes.
Yeah, it just seems like some of the things that don't go together. I really think Disney is going to work on that and make it all make sense again.
Disney Junior, they could just put Bluey all over there, and people like Greg would be excited.
Right, because I know Bluey is the thing. So, we'll see. I guess to be continued on all that stuff because this is just the beginning, and I think 2025 you're going to see a lot of changes.
Yeah, I think we are, and I think we're going to constantly have lots of updates. So stay tuned to the Main Street Mound.
Stay tuned. We won't put out crap like, the castles
We're not going to say it's flooded.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Nah.
So, but that was all our Disney news. Just a couple little tidbits to mention outside of Disney. I was talking about there's no place to watch football at Disney, but there's a place really close by at Stadium Club.
Awesome.
Which we absolutely love. But they have football party packages now. So if you have a group of friends who want to go over there to watch football games, click on our link. You can read all about it. But they have a package deal where you can get like certain foods, and you can get one of the motions or the sports simulator areas rented,
the games and
all that stuff, and go there and watch football all day. So check it out, Stadium Club Orlando. It's really great. It's at the Caribe Royale,
which is off of World Drive, not too far from anything.
No, and it's great. It's a really great hotel.
I love that bar too, though. It's got really good food and lots of TVs for sports. So check it out.
I know. I want to go over there on a Sunday and watch games. I
know, me too.
So, and then the other thing, just before we came in here, I didn't put a blog out for it yet, but SeaWorld Orlando has announced they're having a sale right now. That if you buy a pass for the season or for the year, you can get upgraded to the next tier for free, and the starting pass is only $15.75 a month per person.
Wow, that's cheap.
So for $16 a month, you can have a pass to SeaWorld. And SeaWorld's a good little park. It's a good fun park. I mean,
they have some good coasters. It's not a full day park, but like the boys like the coasters. And
they have some good festivals over there, too.
They do good festivals, too. And their Christmas is top-notch.
Christmas is the best. And I think it's included in admission, isn't it? Or maybe not the whole thing. I don't know. I'd have to check that out. But
I'm not really sure, but they do Christmas really well.
But during Halloween, so they do have Hollow Scream at night, which is a separate ticket event. But during the day, they do have SeaWorld Spectacular, I think it's called, or
like little trick-or-treating.
Little trick-or-treating for kids in costumes and stuff, and they give candy and such like that. And that's included in the normal admission, so that would be included in your package.
But Hollow Scream is extra.
Yes, Hollow Scream is extra. I think
all this is going to be over pretty soon, too. It's going by fast.
Couple more weeks, and then it's all gone. Bye-bye.
Then it's Christmas time. I'm so excited.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go. Okay, my question for you this week, if you're ready for it.
Sure.
With all these closers and things going away.
You're going to ask me if I prefer white or dark meat chicken.
I know the answer to that one. Bone-in dark meat. That's everybody knows. You love a chicken leg.
I don't like a chicken leg.
Actually, you like the turkey legs at Walt Disney World. I know you love the smell of those because they smell like ham.
Years the ham legs. Blech.
I was going to ask you this question: what is your least favorite attraction or show at Walt Disney World? So all four parks, even Disney Springs, if there's something down there you just don't like. What is the thing that you don't like the most? And Figment is not allowed to be mentioned.
Oh, that's not fair.
Because everybody listening knows you don't like Figment.
Okay, that's not fair.
But that's an easy answer to the question because they all know you don't like Figment. So, of course, you're going to say Journey into Imagination.
Well, yeah, that right. No.
But see, I've just made it difficult for you, so I want your second to the last.
Oh, well, see, when you said that, the very first thing that popped into my head was Figment.
Of course it did. That's the first one that popped in my head, and that's why I said I had to put that in the disclaimer.
See, now we got a problem because, like, that was number one on my don't care list.
But there has to be another one that you're just like, eh.
Oh, gosh. No, it's not fair. One attraction I don't like or could live without, basically. I'm trying to go. I'm walking through all the parks in my head right now.
Gotta run because we gotta get the show over.
I am stumped because Figment is the main thing. I'm trying to think what else I don't really care about. I don't care about the Country Bears at all.
We haven't even seen the update.
Yeah, that's how much I don't care. I don't really care about the Country Bears. What else don't I care about? Trying to think. Oh, like, okay, so all right.
You found one?
I found a couple. All right, so the Beauty and the Beast sing-along in France, I don't care. I've done it.
Yeah.
Twice, done.
Once you've done
the movies like Canada and stuff, I don't care about that. Let's see, at the studios, I don't know. I mean, can we just go with that? And Figment is still number one, even though you say that can't be.
I would say at the studios, it'd probably be either Frozen Sing-Along or Star Tours you're not a fan of.
Oh, yeah. I don't like Star Tours because it makes me not feel good. And Frozen Sing-Along is played out. They need a new
seen
show.
It so many times. I wish that's why they'd bring the Nightmare Before Christmas one. That'd be great.
Now, that's something I'd sign a petition for.
That one's in. I want that
if you
one.
could do that Nightmare Sing-Along, I would prefer. But yeah, but here's... I mean, I'm going to be honest. There's some things that I don't necessarily hate it, but there's some things that I don't need to see a million times. And then there's other things that I'm like the mansion is definitely, I would do that whenever anybody asked. Same with Pirates.
But I hate like Ratatouille's ride. I hate that.
Well, that's because it makes you not feel well.
You
don't like simulator rides.
I hate them. I think they should all be torn out and put real rides in.
I really think that I was really looking forward to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure because of just the facade on the outside is amazing.
Oh,
even,
it is.
Even the queue line is awesome.
And no, and then I'm not to take away from that. Let me just. The way they did the building of all that, fantastic. Like you said, the queue is great. The actual ride itself, the screens and everything looks great, but it's just something I could care less if it's there.
Well, and here was the popular opinion about that ride was, do you remember years ago, before like everything shut down, we got to do like a hard hat tour back there to where we could walk and see.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, you could just really see like the supposed to be Paris when you go in, and then the big things in the refrigerator, like the big broom,
right, yeah.
and
So
the
you got to see all
big
that.
the big pieces of bread and the big ham or whatever is hanging from there. And I feel like they could have, if they would have put more physical things in there to see and not as many screens, it would have been a hit. I just think that there's too many screens.
Okay.
But the parts that aren't are great. So I really feel that has potential. Like if they were to ever refurb it and maybe take some of those screens out.
Or even if they leave the screens but put more props hanging up in front of the screens.
Yeah, we need some props.
Yeah.
But look at Universal, not to sidebar it again. They have all kinds of those simulator rides. Simpsons makes me want to throw up. The Jimmy Fallon ride is a simulator.
That one you just sit in that one room and
Yeah.
that's it. Men in Black. I like Men in Black because it's the game, but there's a lot to see in that, but it's kind of like a big...
but at least you see
game.
things.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But even like Transformers, there's a lot of screens there, but at least you're moving.
That's like Spider-Man.
Right. I can't say I don't like Ratatouille, the ride, because I think that it had so much potential. I'm not willing to chuck that
You're not willing
aside.
to chuck it aside
No,
yet.
I'm not. But Figment. Ugh. I know you said no Figment, but I'm going to stand on that soapbox. Bye, Figment.
What if they brought Figment back to the original Figment?
I don't know. I'm just...
Not the annoying little child that you want to punish.
That kid needs a timeout. You know what? It would really have to... it would depend on what they would do with it because, I don't know at this point. I would be open to seeing.
Okay.
But I'm just so anti-Figment now. I don't know if I could do it.
Poor Figment.
Don't pour Figment.
He's just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You know what? Maybe we need the Dreamfinder in here so you can talk to him. Although he does agree with you that the current Figment is annoying.
He does. The original Dreamfinder agrees with me. He said so. So yeah. So I'm allowed to be a hater if the Dreamfinder agrees with me. So we're just going to put a period on the end of that sentence because I'm sticking to that.
Okay, you stick with that. Okay. So anyway, there's her answer to the question for anybody who is curious about that. I just want to mention our sponsors real quick. As you all know, our official travel sponsor of the Main Street Mouse, MEI Mouse Fan Travel. Hands down the best travel company to book your vacation with. They take care of all the planning, all the preparation, everything for you except for packing your bag and getting you on the plane. They do everything else for you.
They can't do that part for you.
They can't do that part for you, but they can help you find the best deals out there, and it's free for you. It doesn't cost you a dime to use them. They work with Royal, they work with Universal, Disney, you name it, they work with them.
You name it, they can help you out.
And right now, Disney does have the stay and play offer right now, which is you can save up to $200 a night with your room and ticket packages. So reach out to MEI Mouse Fan Travel. they will help you out, and they can explain the detail in a lot easier to understand than we could probably explain.
And there's links that you can go right to them from our website.
Yes, click on any of those links, fill out the form, somebody will get back to you. Also want to mention our official stroller scooter partner, Kingdom Strollers. They can help you with any rentals you need while you're here, whether you're staying at Disney, Universal, or you rented a house for the week you're here. They can drop off what you need. They will pick it up at the end, and the customer service over there is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So that is it. I'm going to step aside, let Michele close out the show.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to our supersized show and all of our complaining about chicken and various things, hurricane chat, all that good stuff. Again, we apologize for missing you last week, but we will be back next Monday, so make sure you tune in. And if you love what we do at the Main Street Mouse, please, please, please recommend us to your friends, whether it's our podcast, our website, whatever it may be. We grew the Main Street Mouse by word of mouth. And that's how we continue to grow, and your support is super important and appreciated. So until next time, have a wonderful, magical, fantastic week ahead, and we will see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings, watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.